Come by, Spot. That way.
I'm in an area in England known as the Cotswolds, and if you've never been here, surely you've seen it. It's the landscape always used in car commercials and period films to show a quintessentially charming and upscale British lifestyle. And it's all because of these guys. Back in the Middle Ages, Cotswold wool was highly prized throughout Europe, and it brought in the money, which built the beautiful churches and the villages that we visitors can't get enough of. So if you come here, make sure you thank the little woolly guy. What do you think they are, 3 bags full? I'm on a tour of the English countryside, and I'm beginning my travels in a city known as Bath. If you're in London, Bath is one of its most popular day trips. It's really easy to get to. I took the train from London's Paddington Station. Trains leave all day, every day, and it only takes about an hour and a half to get here. Good tip to know is to avoid rush hour. That's when the crowds are at their highest and the fares are at their highest. So once you're in Bath, everything is walking distance.
Situated in the southwest portion of England, Bath is nestled in a valley along the banks of the Avon River.
In describing Bath as a small city tucked between the rolling hills of the English countryside, you may get the impression that this is an undisturbed and peaceful place, when actually 5 million people visit here annually, so we are not alone, folks. Right now I'm in the city center. This is where everyone sort of congregates at some point. People come to Bath because of its history, because of its sophisticated shopping, but most people come here for its architecture. When in Bath, you will find yourself in an exquisite Georgian town built in the 1700s when this was the destination for the fabulously wealthy. But people have been here for long before that. Right behind me is the Bath Abbey. It dates back to the 15th century and it was built on the site of a Saxon church where the very first king of England was crowned. Do you know who that was? You don't? It was King Edgar back in 973. 3. But actually, people have been coming here for over 2,000 years, and for one reason only, to take a bath.
Back in 65 A.D., the Romans built an intricate complex of baths, saunas, and sacred pools around Britain's only natural hot spring. The Roman baths are one of Britain's finest antiquities.
This is the Great Bath, and you can't see this, but the Romans lined the bottom of the bath with 45 layers of lead, and that insulated the warm water from the cold earth. The lead is also one of the reasons why no one's allowed to swim in it these days, but what amazes me is that the water that you see here actually fell 10,000 years ago in the nearby Mendip Hills. It trickled down the layers of the earth, was heated by the Earth's core, then it made a 25-mile journey to Bath, where it springs up at a balmy 117 degrees. Pretty cool. This is the sacred spring. Now, the Romans did not swim in this water. Instead, they threw in offerings to the goddess of healing. Her name was Sulis Minerva. They also threw in curses. Say someone, while you were enjoying the baths, stole your stuff. Well, you would write down their name on a piece of pewter, roll it up, and throw it in so the goddess could avenge you. Now, you might not know exactly who did it, so you'd want to write a few names just to be certain. And they actually have examples of these curses right here in the museum.
Directly above the Roman baths is the pump room. In the 18th century, fashionable folks came to Bath to take the water. In other words, socialize. And here, they did it in style.
Hello.
Hello, madam. How are you?
Excellent. So I can try the water,
If you'd like to, yes.
Now, are there any curative... Oh, it's warm.
Indeed, madam.
And there's steam coming off the top. Is that steam or is it like sulfur?
Yes, it is steam.
And this comes from where?
At least 84 metres down. That's roughly 260 feet.
Oh, irony.
Yes. Yes.
Now, do people generally like this?
Generally, it's, you know, quite like that. But an extraordinary few actually enjoy it.
You don't look Roman to me.
No, I'm Georgian, madam, late Georgian. 1790s, time of George III.
Would someone who is coming here be served by a man like yourself, dressed like yourself, or would they just go up and take the water?
They would be served by a gentleman like me, up until 1795, when the actual pumpers, of which I am, would have been a lady.
Ah, all right. Actually, I don't want any more. Thank you.
Pleasure, madam. Thank you.
Coming up,
I'd move away from there if I were you.
we'll take to the other side of the road for a glimpse of storybook villages, and we'll get to call our castle home, if only for a night. I'm exploring the English countryside. My first stop, the town of Bath. It's an easy town to get around in. You don't want to rent a car, parking is too hard to find. Walking is the best way to see the sights. Double-decker bus tours give you a good overview, but to really get the scoop, I'd recommend hiring a guide. Jan Hudson is a certified Britain Blue Badge guide, and she knows Bath inside and out.
We're coming up to the circus now, which is part of the 18th century city of Bath, and this is said to be a copy of the Colosseum in Rome. It is decorated with Corinthian columns, Ionic columns, and by the doorways, Doric columns.
Jan told me that the builder enticed the original buyers by appealing to their vanity. He immortalized their faces in stone. There are also over 500 different carvings representing the arts and sciences of Bath.
And a huge difference, we do not throw Christians to the lions here.
Aww.
People live very nicely in these
right.
33 houses.
You English are too polite.
Some we have walked around Bath, but in the 18th century, we would have been carried around in a chair a little bit more elaborate than this, but this is a lovely little sample for
I thought this was a
you.
little information booth, but oh.
So you would sit in this chair, you're one of the fashionable people in the city, looking good, please try and look good.
Wave.
And the men would have poles through these brackets, so there'd be a man at the front to carry the two poles, and a man at the back, and they would carry you around the streets of Bath.
It was a taxi.
Like a taxi service, yeah. So at the end of the evening, you would open your front door in a big city and shout for a taxi.
Right.
In the 18th century, your host would open the door and shout out for a chero.
A chero.
Chero, which we then corrupted to Cheerio when we are leaving somebody's house.
Really? Oh,
Exactly.
I had no idea
This
where
is
that
where
came
it
from.
comes,
Did you know
chero.
that? That's
Chero.
great. I love that.
Yes.
Cheerio. Bath has wonderful shopping, indeed. I found some lovely small independent stores, and you'll definitely want to walk down Walcott Street. It's known as Artisans Quarter, and it's sort of a bohemian lifestyle over here. Interesting shops. It started to rain again. Oh well. And I've noticed if you look around, the people of Bath don't bring out their umbrella for just any old rain, and apparently this is nothing. This is sunshine. So just think it's funny to distinguish who's a tourist and who's from Bath. Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. What a great shop you have.
Thank you.
I'm interested in getting some cheese. I'm going to have a picnic lunch. I'd love to try some local cheeses.
Well, it's a bit wet weather for a picnic, Samantha.
I don't care. I'm in Bath for only a few days. I'm going. I'm doing it.
Well, despite the weather, you're very brave. This one is a goat.
That sounds good.
A goat pyramid. This one is a triple cream.
Oh.
And then we have our local brie, which is made to an 18th century recipe.
Can I try the goat? Yeah.
Certainly. So it should be mellow and creamy.
Oh, it's so subtle. That's perfect. But may I try the cheddar? Because, I mean, if I'm
Absolutely.
in Britain, you have to try the cheddar,
Absolutely.
right? Where does the word cheddar come from?
There's a town, actually, in Somerset,
Oh, there
which
is.
the cheddar is, the cheese is named after.
Oh, it's very tangy.
Yes, that's
I
how
like
it should be.
And I think I'm going to try the goat cheese.
Okay.
Maybe a loaf of bread, and then I'll be off.
Okay, let me just get
Rain
one
or
for
no
you.
rain, I'm going for it.
I can tell you're not going to be put off by the British weather, are you?
Bath is known for beautiful open spaces. This is Prior Park, which encircles the natural woodlands that amble all the way down towards the city.
Oh, this is beautiful. This is the Palladian Bridge, and I was told it's where you can find some really old graffiti, like a century old. Oh, here's one that's about 2 centuries. Look at that, August 12th, 1809. What's the signature? Something Hipsley. You know, I was really hoping for a bench in here, but I guess we must improvise, and this is a lovely spot. Oh, look, cows. Hello, I'm having goat cheese. Sorry, no offense. So I'll get out my bread, my cheese knife. Lovely. Now, just a word to the wise. If you pronounce Bath, you more than likely will be corrected, which I absolutely understand pronouncing things to a point. You know, if someone from Bath said, oh, I love New York, I wouldn't say, oh, you mean New York? But no, we're different. Anyway, when you do get here, though, and experience this city, which is so graceful, and really that's the best way to describe Bath, you realize, you know what? They're right. It isn't Bath. It's Bath. something I never, ever thought I would do, and that is drive a car in England. They drive on the other side of the road here. No problem, right? Actually, renting this was no problem. I just gave them my American license. I did all the arrangements in the U.S., however, because it did save me a little money. I didn't, though, go for a European company because I just thought if there were any contestable charges, which there usually are whenever I rent a car, I wouldn't have any recourse if I left the country. So I pay more, but I have peace of mind. I got the extra insurance. I'd move away if I were you.
If you really want to get out into the English countryside, the best way to do it is by car. The one driving tip to remember, stay in the left lane. And just because you're in the countryside doesn't mean you don't have options for accommodations. This is Thornbury Castle, the hotel I chose for the night.
I don't believe this. I am staying in a castle. It's not like a castle, it is a castle. I don't hear any fanfare, however. Much better. This is a 500-year-old Tudor castle, making it by far the oldest hotel I've ever stayed in. Right now we are in its library, and when I saw a picture of this on its website, I thought, I am staying here. I dreamed of sitting in one of these high-back chairs in front of these gorgeous windows, reading the morning paper, a good book, so it's really neat to finally be here. Now, if you look at the other common rooms in the castle, you'll notice that they are very luxurious. And when any hotel claims to be a medieval castle, your first question should be, how medieval?
Before we head to my room, a little history is in order.
This was to be the home of Edward Stafford, a.k.a. the 3rd Duke of Buckingham. He began it in 1511, and if you look through that window there, you'll see that he didn't get to finish his home. It's a really sad story. It's every homeowner's nightmare, really. You see, he was beheaded by the king. It happens. King Henry VIII, to be specific. Remember, he's the guy who had 2 of his wives beheaded, 2 out of 6. So you didn't want to get on his bad side. Well, the Duke had asked His Royal Highness for permission to build a comfortable manor, which he was granted. And after about 10 years, this is what he built, what you see here today. Well, word got back to the king that he's not building a comfortable manor. What he's building is a fortified castle, one that is very capable of being defended. So the king tried him for treason, wrongly, I should add, and whoosh. This is the way to my room. Oh. At least it's not going downstairs to the dungeon. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Oh, the stone walls, thick oak door, big fireplace. This is not a room, folks. This is a bed chamber. Something very regal about it, don't you think? Look at this very imposing bed, and the color scheme is red and gold. A lot of character here, and it's hard not to just get caught up in the fantasy of it. I mean, we are in a castle. There are roles to play. So I was thinking, okay, a duke built this so the lady of the house would be a duchess. I don't want to be a duchess. I'm on vacation. I want to be the queen. So I'm the queen. I should like to have my tea now. Like 10 servants go scurrying. Actually, before I get excited, let's check out what the commode looks like. See if it's royal. Oh, very nice. Excellent. There are 26 rooms here at Thornbury Castle, each one completely different in their own royal way. There's even a 2-bedroom gatehouse. Now, most of the rooms have fireplaces, and all come with a lovely bottle of sherry, so you can properly unwind after a tough day of touring. You know, I was thinking, I'm here to explore the Cotswolds, but I don't want to leave my castle. I'm the queen. Where's my tea?
Next, going for a walk takes on a whole new meaning in the Cotswolds. And what could be more English than tea? When we return, we'll stop by a country pub for a pint-sized lesson on beer. About 2 hours outside of London is an enchanting area known as the Cotswolds. There's no doubt why this is one of England's most popular destinations. In some areas, it's as if hundreds of years have gone by with delightfully little change.
So this is Stanway. It's a tiny hamlet, and we changed the radio station and you've missed it. And just like most of the towns here in the Cotswolds, it's made up of just one building material, and that's a honey-colored limestone, which makes these towns quite striking in their uniformity. believe this town. I had to stop the car and walk around. It's just something out of a fairy tale. It's called Snows Hill. A lot of people call it Snowsel. They're great, cheery names there in the Cotswolds. There's Chippingham and Burton on the Water, Stowe on the Wold, Sam in the car.
After all that driving, it was time to stop in a country pub. A Cotswold favorite is the Mount Inn.
So I've assembled an assortment of beer here that you will see in every traditional English pub. And I was told that English beer is warm, like room temperature, but this is actually quite chilled, and I like it. Just so you know, this is for educational purposes only. I try to keep a straight face, sorry. And just so you know, when you walk into a pub, you head right to the bar and order it. Don't wait at a table. No one's going to take your order. So what we have, a lager here in pint and half pint. Right here, we've got the stout in a traditional pint glass, and see that lip there? That's so you can really fasten on your hands. And this is traditional English bitter. You'd walk into the pub and say, I'll have a pint of bitter, please. Now, I was told that ladies really order the half pints. If a woman orders one of these big honking things, it scares the men at the pub. That's why it came out here. So I've heard that walking is Britain's favorite pastime, so I'm about to embark on the Cotswold Way, and that's a 100-mile path that goes through the hills, pastures, and towns of this area. I'm only going to do a few miles of it, though.
What's neat about the Cotswold Way is that you're walking mostly on private property, which you're welcome to do, so you get a backyard peek of rural England.
The Cotswold Way isn't all grassy path. It leads you through villages, and it's very well marked, so you just follow the signs, and you'll be all right. I'm now in the village of Stanton, and can you believe this? This is a real thatched roof home. I've only seen these drawn in children's books. I bet you a woman named Miss Penelope Pickwick lives there. She makes wonderful biscuits. You can't come to England without enjoying afternoon tea. And for me, I wanted a place that reflected the character of the Cotswolds, and boy, did I find it. This is the Dormy House. It's an elegantly restored farmhouse and inn, so you can stay here. And it's just so inviting, you know, big plumpy sofas, there's a roaring fire, and look at this afternoon tea. It's just so perfectly English. You know, when people ask me what country they should visit for their very first trip to Europe, I always say England. It's simply because we share a common language and so much more. You know, this is a culture that is immediately accessible yet fascinating at the same time. And it's this experience that will enable you to understand other cultures that aren't so similar. But this is where you get your European sea legs. You know what I'm talking about? It's sort of Europe light with lots of cream. If you want to learn more about what I did in Europe, talk about the show, or check out my photos and journal, log on to Travel Channel at discovery.com. See you there.